Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing Smartin, who gains 100 ELO after every move. Thank you to Anch for leaving this idea in a comment. If you have any ideas you'd like me to try, feel free to comment them down below. My goal is to win one game. Let's get started with game number 1. Okay, Smartin, or I suppose Martin, will start with his base rating of 250 ELO and gain 100 points after every move that he makes. So I think the plan here is pretty darn clear. We have to play super fast and aggressive, and playing for material I think is also going to be critical, because Martin, just like every other bot for some strange reason, never falls for mate in 1. So if I waste my time setting up, I don't know, bishop c4, queen to f3 for the express purpose of mating him in one move, it will never work because he never fails to see mate in 1 and stop it as well. So I need to really aggressively play to gain some kind of material as fast as possible before he levels up to something over 1,000, where it becomes way less likely that he'll actually give up free stuff. We're met with pawn to g6. He'll be rated 450 for this next move that he makes, so I don't think he's actually going to stop me if I play pawn to d5, to be honest. With that move, not only are we threatening the knight, but we're also setting up the queen to play d4 and hopefully grab a rook. And I think with a knight and rook advantage, and maybe even another piece, that should be enough for me to beat even Stockfish, and that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I need to have a material advantage that's actually significant enough that when, oh my goodness, he moves the knight back. I was going to say that when it comes time to actually play against Stockfish, because eventually, you know, after move 36, this Martin literally cannot get any stronger. He will be rated the same as Stockfish, and that's it. So I'm basically playing the strongest engine in the world at that point. Unfortunately for me, Martin is very quickly leveling up, now rated 550 ELO. I mean, I think it's still worth a shot. Queen to d4 targeting the rook is my best chance, and we're met with f6 immediately. Holy moly, this is going to be tough. Okay, already rated 650, and I have 0 free material to speak of. The worst part is I don't even have any like actual active threats. I need to think of something immediately, because the thing is, if I resort to very slowly like developing all of my pieces, it's going to be rated 1600 by the time anything happens, and at that point I'm not getting anything for free. And obviously I could beat a 1600 bot, you know, with my eyes closed in a normal game of chess, but the problem is in another 10 moves after that it will just be Stockfish. So if I don't have an advantage secured by then, I can't plan on like playing out a long game where I take advantage of outposts and open files and what have you. Okay, let's go with bishop to f4 with the idea, oh, that's really interesting. I was going to say with the idea of pushing pawn to e5, should the pawn take, I could obviously take back with the bishop, we trap the rook, and there's hopefully some material gain to be had there, but we get pawn to e5 by Martin instead. He's now rated 650, and I think I can just en passant right now. I mean, I think obviously I can't just leave the fork on the board, so I'm acting like I have a choice here. I think I just en passant. Oh, beautiful. Bishop to e7 is wonderful news. I mean, we don't actually gain anything from it, but now I can take this pawn completely for free. Take with check, the bishop does take back, and with that Martin is already rated 850, and there is no material gain in sight. Couple of different options. I could play bishop c4, queen d5, and hope that the mating threat, arrows as bad as ever, hope that the mating threat is enough to force it to maybe give up some crazy material with like bishop to e6. The other option is like knight to c3, knight d5, looking for the very simple fork on c7 supported by the bishop. The problem is I think 1-2, or rather I couldn't even play b5, it'd have to be d5. 1-2 is really slow for maybe winning a rook and then like having a trapped knight. So I think bishop c4 is way more concrete. Pawn to a5 does nothing about any of those threats, so I can just play queen d5. Okay, and queen c8 is what we get instead, which very concretely creates an escape route for the king. If queen to f7, king d8. But don't I have queen g7 there, trapping the rook? And then after the rook falls, the knight is pinned to the king, so I don't see how you save that either. And I think this is actually ideal, because I want the bot to be in a position where there is no mate in 1 threat, but there's a whole bunch of free material that hopefully it won't try to defend. And even though it is already rated 1050, I don't think Martin is going to be able to stop this. I mean, first of all, that's a forced move. And even though now it's 1150, queen g7, I just don't see how you stop me from taking that rook. Okay, sneaky check. Bishop to b4, the problem is now I can just create another threat. Pawn to c3 hits the bishop, knight to e7, I'm not sure what that defends. And I mean, even though it's rated 1350 now, I don't see how Martin stops this. First of all, that's a rook. Bishop comes back to e8. I could play this and threaten mate in 1. King d7 would probably be played. And I'm not sure what I follow up with there, so I think I'm just going to grab this bishop instead. Knight comes to d7. What do you do about bishop f7 there? I mean, Martin is now at an all-time high of 1550, but what on earth do you do about this? Is that forced mate? Whoa, that's crazy. I think knight to f8 there is forced. Because the thing is, bishop to f7, you don't even have like c6 to create an escape square because my bishop covers that. If the knight moves, I take with the queen anyways, that's mate. If the queen moves, that does nothing, queen takes with mate. If this knight moves, same thing. I think knight to f8 there would be forced. Or the very creative knight to g8. Okay, that's free. Okay, and the king comes up to e7. Okay, I understand that, but I'm up so much material that I don't think it matters. Because even with his fabulous 1750, brand new rating, I don't think Martin can actually do anything about me just simplifying. Queen takes back. How much material am I up? I'm up like a whole, like 12 points of material? Yeah, that's enormous. I think I just take, and I'm actually confident that if I played this against the top engine right now, I'd still win. So let's go ahead and just simplify everything. Knight comes out, I'm trading off everything, pawn takes back. Martin is jumping for joy because he's never been rated 2150 in his entire life. But unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna make a difference. I'm just gonna develop all of my pieces, target free stuff, and this should be a pretty easy conversion. It will be a relatively slow endgame, so we'll probably top out the engine and eventually come across, 3600 ELO stockfish, but to be frank, again, it doesn't really matter. We can just slide everything over, force a trade. We're up a rook and 2 knights minimum. I think we're up some pawns too, one single pawn. We'll just take on e5. Just everything here is completely winning. It's challenging our pawn on f4, g3 defends, take back. This knight is beautiful, and with that trade, I mean, that's just crushing right there. Knight slides back for the pawn. We'll take, check, grab this pawn, push, slide back with check, push this pawn as well, and this is just an abomination. We'll just throw everything in its face, go in for the pawn promotion is not stalemate, perfect, slide back, slide the rook over for my absolute favorite type of checkmate, que lo inventó Capablanca en el año 1933, we have ladder's mate. With that, we do in fact defeat Smartin with all of his beautiful high rating. Thank you again so much to Ansh for suggesting the video idea. If you guys do have video ideas that you want me to try, leave them down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.